Live from beautiful Darien, Connecticut, it's the 2023 Darien Memorial Day Parade on the DAF Media Network. Hi, everybody. I'm Damian Andrews. So glad you could join us this morning for a special event here on the DAF Media Network. It's the 2023 Darien Memorial Day Parade, and it is a Chamber of Commerce type of day here in Connecticut. Absolutely beautiful. And joining me on the broadcast, as he always does, is longtime Darien resident, Mr. John Cini. And John, I said it's a Chamber of Commerce day. It is absolutely beautiful today for this parade.
Absolutely. I actually started my day fishing this morning before the wind kicked up. So it was a brilliant weekend, actually. Probably one of the best in memory here in Darien. So we're going to get going just with some preview what's about to happen after the parade. And the town's Monuments and Ceremonies Commission invites all participants and spectators to attend the Memorial Day commemorative ceremony at the Spring Grove Veterans Cemetery at the end of the parade. We're down by the library, and it's just a bit yonder towards the west here. That ceremony opens with an invocation by First Congregational Reverend Andrew Weissman, the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance by Vietnam veteran and Grand Marshal Bruce Kinloch, and followed by the singing of the national anthem by the Tudor Singers under the able direction of Mr. Chris Andrade. Tudor Singers, of course, are from Darien High School. Cadet Girl Scout Anvantika, I think is her name. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Jane will recite Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, and the BSA Star Scout Kevin Cope will read General Logan's Order Number 11. And then First Selectman Monica McNally will then read the names of the Darien's 92 servicemen who lost their lives in defense of our country in all conflicts from the Civil War on, followed by the Tudor Singers again. So this year, our keynote speech will be delivered by Kevin Callahan, author of The Brothers in Arms, Remembering Brothers Buried Side by Side in American World War II Cemeteries. A special book. I had the opportunity to see him at the Mather Homestead as a speaker. And it's a wonderful book, and talking about these brothers that gave everything in the families that surrounded them.
Let's talk about longtime Darien resident John Bruce Kinloch. You had mentioned he's going to be the Grand Marshal of this year's parade, and a United States Marine Corps veteran. Bruce served 1964 to 1967 as a helicopter pilot, spending 13 months in Vietnam, during which time he flew more than 200 combat missions, including medevac retrievals and insertion and extraction of long-range reconnaissance patrols. Bruce is the recipient of 9 air medals with the Combat V Medal. He finished his tour of duty as a captain and has been very much involved in Darien Little League, Darien Babe Ruth, Darien Junior Football League throughout his time here as a resident of Darien.
Just like everybody, a volunteer gives back to the community, and this whole parade is basically put on by volunteers in the Monuments and Ceremonies community, their committee, and Terry Gaffney, who's
was great.
Yeah, the man behind the madness of the parade. And we'll probably have a couple people out of order, but I know he's like a drill sergeant trying to get the participants in order so we can read you their bios.
John, speak a little bit to Memorial Day. I mean, so many people look at it as a day to spend time with family and close friends, cookouts, all that kind of stuff that's really superficial when you break it down. And I know this day means an awful lot to you. And you and I were just talking before we went on air. This is the 5th time we have done this parade. I believe it's the 5th. You might be right. It may be the 4th, but 4th or 5th time that we've done this parade. And it's always a pleasure having you here. Darien means so much to you, your wife, and your children. But just speak to Memorial Day Parade and Memorial Day and how important it is to not only this community, but to communities across the country.
So I think you reflect at the history in this community going back to the Revolutionary War, and then you tie that in with the Spring Grove Veterans cemetery, and spent a number of moments there. I mean, the wreath laying every year, and so many volunteers putting a wreath on every monument and headstone, and it just really centers around this holiday and what it's all about. And yeah, we love it, and we're celebrating the town and the history of the town in many ways, and the community that's here. But I think, that final ceremony after the parade's over, as Terry kind of wrote for us, is really kind of what it's all about. Remembering those that served, the numerous, almost 192 servicemen who basically served from Darien, and gave it their all in terms of their lives.
The ultimate sacrifice, as is often stated.
And like our Grand Marshal, many went through their lives and gave back to the community, and it's just awesome to reflect on that. But then tie that into the part of the community thing, and this is really special. Americana at its best.
Absolutely, and a beautiful town like Darien. This is full of pageantry this morning here, as we alluded to at the outset. Just a beautiful day, a little breezy, but it is perfect. And when you consider what we have come through over the last couple of years with the pandemic, and where we didn't even have this parade, this is a welcome sight.
Yeah, and so we're going to start the first division, led by Terry Gaffney, as we mentioned, chair of the Monuments and Ceremony Committee or Commission, and the Darien Police Color Guard is carrying the flags, comprised of Sergeant Christopher Jimenez, Stuart Schwenger, sorry again about the names, guys, Gregory Benedetto, Edwin Virgil, and Michael Dos Santos. And the police commissioners are following them. And then other elected officials. Monica McNally is now our first selectman. John Zagrodzky, Sarah Newman, Marcy Minnick, Michael Burke are all our first selectmen. State Representatives Tracy Mara took over for a long time. House member Terry Wood. And then this year, for the first time, it's a number of other elected officials are joining them from, I believe, the Board of Ed, Planning and Zoning.
And we're seeing a couple pictures being taken of today's Grand Marshal, Bruce Kinloch, who has just stepped out of the car he was in near the viewing stand with Terry Gaffney.
And then right behind them, we have the jazz ensemble from Darien High School, and the high school is thriving. It's pretty awesome with all the activities around sports, extracurriculars, music, theater, clubs, councils. It's all very good. That's John Zagrodzky, first selectman.
The Darien High School jazz ensemble, led by Jonathan Grauer, who does such a great job, and these are members of the jazz ensemble with select members of the Blue Wave Marching Band.
One thing that's are very fortunate is just the school district here. I think we're around 4,500 students and very active. Love our staff, love our administration. They've just done a wonderful job post-COVID and bringing it all together. A really proud district, and we're wrapping up the school year in a matter of weeks. The seniors are actually doing their senior internships. And so we're about to move on in terms of another school year.
And Jonathan Grauer is in the khaki shorts with the blue polo shirt, and he's got the Blue Wave mascot walking right behind him.
The Angry Wave.
The Angry Wave. We hear so much about, especially on DAF Media, we hear so much about the terrific sports teams that Darien has produced over the years, but the music program is thriving, and some very talented individuals, some of whom are on this float. as you can hear the sounds of the Darien High School Jazz Ensemble, as we mentioned, led by director Jonathan Grauer.
And following them, we have the Veterans of Foreign War Sports 6933. Post Vice Commander Scott Vanderlei. And the VFW here is open to the public. And we'll be serving hot dogs and hamburgers after the parade. So other than the Post 53 food fair, a number of the fire departments and the VFW also have barbecues.
And the Connecticut National Guard making its way down the parade route.
This unit served in Afghanistan in 2019 and has participated in many local disaster relief efforts, including the rescue and repair efforts during Sandy. And the museum in Darien right behind them. We have a 1953 Packard Caribbean, a 1950 Packard Woody, and I believe that's driven by members of Bruce Sargent's family and the Perkins family. 1964 Mercedes 300 convertible. This Darien Historical Society was established in 1953, and I believe they've kind of switched the name to the Museum of Darien, and it's open midweek every week.
And the museum does a lot of great things, hosting field trips for third graders and out-of-town bus tour for fifth graders. The museum engages all ages through workshops, historic and contemporary exhibits, with integrated lectures in the Schofield Barn.
And one of those exhibits you'll see is the Middlesex whaling boat. It's a replica of a type of vessel commonly used in the 18th century around here on the Sound and out, I believe, out into the ocean. So I'll have to make a correction, Damien. The Monuments and Ceremonies chair is Suzanne Shore, not Terry anymore. And she is present in the whaling boat.
Here is the second division as we start that of this parade, and the Darien EMS-Post 53. And John, you know a lot about this organization. It's been around for decades here in Darien, and it is so impressive, and they just do such great work. If you could speak a little bit more to Post 53.
Well, I'm privy to this because my youngest, Jake, is serving. He's a full EMT. He's a junior now. It's an incredible organization, actually founded in 1970. And one of a kind, I think, not only in the States but the world. I share stories about my son serving as an EMT, and no one, everybody's in disbelief about this organization. It's quintessential volunteerism, but at the high school level. And my son, who's kind of in the middle of the pack on the left here, basically spent last night at Post, serving Post 54. They typically have two squads, and he's giving me a big smile right now and get wave. There you go, Jake. Way to go, guys.
It's a really impressive organization, and we've had some members of DAF Media who have also been involved in Post 53, and these students, these high school students, do tremendous work, and they are saving lives in some cases. Yeah,
and again, it's all driven by volunteers. Charitable donations. I mean, there are some town funds used, but the vehicles that you see behind them and the ambulances are donated. Each family that's made a donation, essentially has their name on the side.
And here comes Terry Gaffney in the maroon Mercedes here.
He's the man who pulls this thing together.
He does. He pulls the strings. He's the...
doesn't get enough glory.
I got to know Terry about 5 years ago, and he is a tremendous individual, and this means to talk about how much Memorial Day means to you and so many people throughout this country. It means a lot to Terry Gaffney.
Absolutely, and not only does he pull the parade together, but he's very, very important in pulling the ceremony together later. So,
no question.
Reminder though, folks, the Post 53 Food Fair commences right after the parade is complete, and that's held at Tilly Pond like it had been every year. And it's a wonderful event, and the whole community comes out. A lot of restaurants and other organizations serve food. They have a silent auction. It's again just a wonderful event post parade that brings the community together.
And here is the Masonic Club of Darien, Ivanhoe Lodge 107. Has been serving the community since 1925. Freemasonry is an organization of men from all walks of life who help each other grow spiritually, morally, and intellectually while enjoying opportunities for fellowship and performing charitable activities.
And then I believe we have the Chamber of Commerce following up. And for those of you who haven't been to Darien recently, I mean, tremendous changes in the air between the redevelopments at Noroton Heights, the Corbin District. It's just phenomenal what this town is about to see. And we saw phase one downtown of the Corbin District. That's been embarked on by David Genovese and the Glassmeyer family. It is really, it's Baywater Properties is basically the organization, but, local families and investors
who care about Darien and are making a better Darien.
Yeah, suburban renewal, if you will. And the same things happened at Noroton Heights as well with Federal Realty's development. So really, really neat stuff. We're very fortunate to have people wanting to reinvest in this community.
So this is where we get a little out of order from our script. This is the Darien Gymnastics, the Darien YMCA Gymnastics program.
Oh, there you go.
More than 1,000 participants. Classes for parent and children begin at age 1. Preschool drop-off classes, school-age classes, multiple teams. They do a terrific job within the Darien YMCA gymnastic programs. Here's the Darien Library.
I see Hutch Pegler, the president of the board, and they are hugely helpful in helping us pull this together, right?
Absolutely. Kiara Parrott has done a terrific job the last 2 years in helping us get our internet connection, John, within the library. And here is the Harney Pender Keady Academy of Irish Dance. They've produced regional, national, and world champion dancers in solo dancing and team dancing. And these dancers come from Darien, Stamford, New Canaan, Greenwich, and other surrounding towns.
And the next is the Darien Salem Power Squadron. It's all-volunteer organization established 70 years ago, dedicated to safe fun on the water. And I know they're very active. I'm a boater myself, as I mentioned earlier, and they continue to give great educational classes, throughout the year.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day to, well, you were already on the water. Beautiful day to be on the water. And here is the Darien Green Team.
This one's led by Paola Sordoni. And it's the umbrella organization for the 20 nonprofit environmental groups in town. And I'm not going to go through all 20, but we are green here in Darien. Again, with all this redevelopment, we're also thinking about the environment and the parks and our wonderful beaches, which have been packed all weekend. I mean, that's one of the reasons I moved here from Long Island. It's the North Shore. It's very similar to what I grew up in, environment that I grew up in, and access to the water has just been thriving. Wee Beach was redeveloped a handful of years ago now, and they're going to do some further upgrades there.
I think people forget about the beautiful beaches on the coast of Connecticut. Here is the Fairfield County Police Pipes and Drums, ranked one of the top bagpipe bands in the region. This group, comprised of current and retired police officers, they are proud and honored, as they should be, to march with the Darien Fire Department.
Well, see, I think we're out of order because I see the Noroton equipment behind these guys. So I believe this is the Noroton Fire Department that is marching behind them. Noroton is responsible for the Marine Fire Patrol, and they have 2 boats. You'll see one coming our way on a trailer, but they just raised money for a 2nd fireboat, and will be replacing the existing fireboat that's been in service for years. It's a pretty sweet piece of equipment that I've seen online. There's about 50.
Parade comes to a slight halt. And John has been mentioning the ceremony in the cemetery following this parade. If you haven't had an opportunity to take in that ceremony, be there, it's really special.
I believe TV 79 will be recording it and then replaying it. It won't be played live, unfortunately. We can't quite get the link there.
But it will be on our channel, so in the next day or two.
So this Reserve 1972 Maxim pumper is a yellow with an open cab. It's one of a kind. They still use it as a reserve engine, but it's also used frequently around the holidays. And I think we saw Santa Claus, drive by, who, during the summer he needs a job, and that's actually, and then when he's busy making toys and doing his thing in the winter, so he maximizes his full year utility. That's Joe Warren by the guys, folks. A long time volunteer in town, and really generous over the holidays with his time. And so is Noroton Fire Department also. They still visit the neighborhoods and say hello to all the kids. It's really awesome.
Yep. And young children in just about any parade are always impressed with the fire trucks. And
we got some neat apparatus.
Beautiful. Yep.
Boys with toys, I sometimes
say. Absolutely.
Boys and women, boys and girls with toys, I should say.
The Darien Men's Association making its way down the parade route, led by Frank DeLeo in his 1965 Mustang convertible. Now in its 45th year, the Darien Men's Association is where retired and semi-retired men find good fellowship, friendship, fun, amidst a range of activities designed to nourish both body and mind while promoting a sense of community. And community, as John has mentioned many times, the common theme throughout this parade.
I got to say, the Men's Association has a lot of long-timers in it, and it's a group of characters. If you've ever been to one of the presentations in front of them, they always ask some good and interesting questions, and very active members of our community.
And right before the Darien Men's Association, failed to mention this, the Atria Senior Living car, as they are represented in this parade, an award-winning boutique senior living community offering an active lifestyle for discerning seniors for over 25 years, and they do a tremendous job. They were very much involved in doing a lot of things during the pandemic. I love their hats on the Darien members of the Darien Men's Association.
We got the Cub Scouts following, and again, scouting is very, very active in this community between the boys and the girls. This is the Ox Ridge Pack 56. I'm sorry, Ox Ridge and Royal pack, and I believe there's there's 2 different Cub Scout packs. I believe 2 different Boy Scout packs as well. Yeah, BSA Scouts Troops 35 and 53. They began early in their 1920s. Irving Skelton earns the program's first Eagle Scout award in 1928. And I got to tell you, folks, the Scouts continue to produce Eagle Scouts.
Yep.
And I was a Scout very briefly, and I didn't quite
make it.
Not quite.
That's so impressive.
Huge dedication
Yep.
to the community and the amount of work they do. And you see the projects and the plaques of what they've done.
Yep.
Each and every year, they just are more additive to what we enjoy here in Darien.
And so many of the projects that the Eagle Scouts are involved with are community enhancing, changing projects. Very impressive.
And they help boys and girls grow.
Yep.
I mean, as individuals. And, that's the beauty of this community. I mean, everybody says we're sports oriented, but there's such a plethora of things for the kids to do and grow and become, and give back to the community as well. I mean, it's remarkable. And that's why we've chosen to live here for about 23 years and raise our two older boys. And called out Jake earlier, but I have two at Clemson right now. And give a shout out to Luke, who might be watching from Clemson, South Carolina.
What's up, Luke?
And even the political parties, local political parties. I mean, I'm a volunteer on the Board of Ed right now, and I've also served on planning and zoning. And again, just a collaborative nature of the two parties working together, finding volunteers, recruiting. And so here we have the Darien Democrats, and I believe the Republicans will be following down the parade. But these people are very instrumental in getting volunteerism and finding the volunteers to serve. I think we've counted over 350 volunteers run this town. I mean, it's just remarkable.
It's impressive. As you know, I spent many years at News 12 Connecticut, and I was in and around this Fairfield County area quite a bit and have gotten to know a lot of people. Darien's so impressive with the volunteers and how many people give to their community.
And here's the Maplewood van, and this is one of the three progressive living communities that we now have in town: Atria, Maplewood, and then we have a newer one over the last few years at Sellex Woods, and they're just amazing facilities.
Yeah, the Maplewood Independent Living, Assisted Living, and Memory Care addresses the health, social, and mental needs of each individual's unique demands.
3 seconds, 3 minutes. So I have Tracy Mara here now, our state rep from Darien, basically. You took over Terry's seat, Terry Wood's seat, long time.
Yes.
Dedicated House member. Now, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So happy to be here. Really happy to march in this parade. It's what a beautiful day. What a great time to celebrate and also just remember our veterans. And we have so much to be thankful for. And I hope this summer everybody really is grateful and feels that gratitude for all these freedoms that we are enjoying here in Darien and in our country.
As you were speaking, we had the Fairfield County Fife band and Darien Fire Department's pulling up on us as well.
Right, and that was there's my pause, because these fire trucks are phenomenal, and I just was talking to some people about how much work they put into shining these beautiful fire trucks, and they are a sight to behold.
Yeah, one of the 3 volunteer departments. We had Noroton go by earlier, and now the second of the 3 are coming through. So just talk about the community and what you love about it, Tracy, to step up and serve in the Connecticut House of Rep.
Yeah, so one of the things I've always said about Darien is I am so honored to be a representative, because this town, I mean, you can see by how many people are in this parade today, how many volunteers we have that love this town, and they put their heart and soul into their families, into the communities. So it's really an honor to be able to represent them and get their feedback. There's so many people that have such a long history, but then we have so many new community people that have come in from different communities. A lot of people from New York that have come in over the pandemic, and they just add such a vibrancy to our community. So a lot to celebrate here.
So Darien Fire Department was actually organized in 1895, amazingly, by 26 men. The original firehouse was at the southeast corner of Center Street and the Boston Post Road, not too far where it sits now. And it was the size of a 2-car garage at the time. As you can see, we can't quite fit them in a 2-car garage these days. But the lamp from the first apparatus is still in working condition and hangs on the wall of the firehouse. And Kim Martini became the department's first female firefighter in 1986. And what's awesome about this and Post, they all coordinate, all volunteer, as I mentioned earlier. But, a midday, fire call will attract, trucks from all 3 organizations. And
just beautiful.
Well, Tracy, thank you for joining us.
Really happy to be here. Thank you so much.
And you're what the viewing stand is just down yonder from us in front of Nielsen's, right? So you'll be enjoying the rest of the parade there, and I'm sure heading over to the ceremony at Spring Grove.
All right, we'll see you there. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
At home in Darien. Making its way by our location here. And 2 of our crew members, Eric and Jason Bellingham, their mom, marching in this year's Memorial Day parade. Want to give a shout out as we're taking a look at the parade here in front of Nielsen's and the Darien Library. Want to give a shout out to our production crew. Eric Bellingham, Jason Bellingham, and Braden Schenk, who has been on this parade broadcast for the last couple of years, and he is a graduating senior, and DAF Media is going to miss him terribly. He has been a huge part of what we've been doing the last couple of years at DAF Media. Again, all student volunteers that give of their time and efforts to bring you events on our channel like the Darien Memorial Day Parade. And John Cini, Damian Andrew joining you as we take a look at Pivot Ministries.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Joe Pankowski, Darien Senior Center. He's head of the Commission on Aging and is instrumental in helping relaunch the Senior Center now, which is located in Town Hall for probably a decade, but it's really awesome. Oh, here comes our flyover. C-130 from the Connecticut National Guard. Probably hear it. Not sure we can catch that on camera, but every year it visits a number of communities with the parades, and pretty awesome sight.
So impressive.
Chance of USA as it goes by.
Yep. As there should be.
Making a hard bank over the sound and probably back to another community.
Darien Girl Scout Troop 50102. And these girls look like they're having a great time. The waves to the crowd along the parade route, claps from the crowd.
I think we're trying to get a shot of the C-130 as it departs the area, but it came in from east to west down Post Road. A pretty awesome sight.
Again, we're looking at the more than 150 marchers from the Girl Scouts of America.
Troop 573. I think these are the daisies, if I'm not mistaken.
And I don't know if anybody could hear them say, we're on TV, and they certainly are.
I mean, again, I have to give a shout out to DAF Media. This has been an awesome opportunity to participate in this with you, Damien, over, let's call it over the last 5 years.
Absolutely.
We did have a gap around COVID, but
yep.
I think we did actually do the ceremony.
We did the ceremony, correct.
You know, and to see this rejuvenated, I think is one of the biggest parades ever in terms of number of participants. These troops have just overwhelmed the backside of the parade. It's just awesome to see the participation.
Well, and I want to thank you too, John. You have been, you and your wife Michelle have been very supportive of our efforts with DAF Media. Been a friend to me, and I greatly appreciate that. And we've just had, I just mentioned while you took a little jump off air, our crew here today, the Eric and Jason Bellingham, Braden Shank, just three of the more than 60 students who have been involved in our organization and do such a great job bringing you sporting events, broadcasts of concerts, and of course the Memorial Day Parade. And here's the Mather Homestead bringing history to life.
So if you don't know, the Mather Homestead is a newer organization in town, and it's located at the corner of Brookside and Stephen Mather. And the Mather House, tremendous history going back to the Revolutionary War, but also Stephen Mather, descendant of those, the Mathers, also started the National Park System here in the United States. So really awesome activities going up in that neck of the woods.
The Darien Republicans making their way in front of our viewing location.
And I called out the Democrats and the Republicans as well. And again, another organization that's in charge of recruiting and all, bringing the volunteers to government service and making this town work.
And the Noroton Heights Fire Department marching in this year's Darien Memorial Day Parade.
Yeah, so our third fire department, these guys are instrumental in helping us pull off the football car wash. There's not enough hoses that come off the high school, so we use one of their tanker trucks, which is coming up, I believe, it's the 13th. It's a couple weeks away, and that's another awesome organizational event to raise money for the football team, and other athletic teams, of course, do car washes and money raisers. And honestly, Darien Athletic Foundation was a big part of making DAF Media work, right?
Along
with the Darien Foundation.
It was, it was it's the brainchild of DAF Media, and the Darien Athletic Foundation, and the last 5 years, the Darien Foundation, a joint venture to bring you DAF Media, and both organizations just do great work, and again, a lot of giving people.
Before we sign off, we're going to have our first selectman, Monica McNally, join us. I see her walking towards us, giving a couple hugs to folks. Bruce Ferguson, another instrumental player in making DAF Media, has just showed us a picture of a bald eagle sitting over the police department.
Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. The police department sits across from the cemetery, and the bald eagles, as I grab Monica, we'll talk a bit about it, where the bald eagles reside. So welcome, Monica McNally, our first selectman at Darien for almost 2 years now.
Yes, a real pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So just talk a bit about today, and I know you have to run over to the ceremony, which is so special, but you've been First Selectman now almost 2 years, and reflect on today and what it means to the community and in a bigger picture.
I think it's wonderful to see everybody out. It's a gorgeous day. Everybody's thinking about Memorial Day weekend and all the festivities with your families and everything. But I would just ask everybody to, I read somebody sent something to me, and it's remember to remember. So remember why we're here. Remember all of the brave men and women that have sacrificed their lives, and all of our service people that are out there protecting us.
Yeah, and our Grand Marshal is Bruce Kinloch, a local volunteer, and gave so much to his country as well.
And actually, an old friend of ours.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, so this must be really special, being able to participate in the
He and
ceremony.
Michelle, good friends.
Most
Absolutely.
awesome. One thing I want to call out is we were talking about the bald eagle that's sitting on the police station antenna right now overlooking the cemetery and the end of the parade, but we just acquired a special piece of land, and maybe just talk briefly about what we're doing and what we just purchased.
Well, we have a resident bald-head eagle also on the island that has a nest there, and right now we have had tremendous interest from our public to volunteer. So we felt that it was important to interview all 45 people for the 4 spots. Yes, and it's not hurting cats, but I have to tell you, getting 5 Board of Selectmen members and all of these volunteers together has been fun. And you know what? It's so terrific to see all of these people come out, because now we know we have a roster of people for future events. So, this committee will get the island, we'll get going on it, but there'll be plenty of opportunities for people to volunteer going forward. The island's been there, it's been in this family for over 120 years. It's not going anywhere. We're going to take it slow. We're going to take it carefully, and I can't wait to get the public out there as soon as it's feasible.
Yeah, and so I'm sure the public's looking forward to spending many Memorial Days and July 4th and summer weekends out there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Again, the resident eagle came up to view the parade, and it couldn't
get
any
better,
better.
right?
Yeah. So,
no.
Monica, thanks for joining us. We're going to sign off. We'll see you over at the ceremony, and that's going to be, I guess, broadcast on TV 79.
Okay. Thank you.
You take care, Monica. Thanks again.
Monica McNally joining John Cini. And John, let me just take this moment here as the parade has officially come to an end as it makes its way into the cemetery. But thank you once again. We'll do it again next year. It's always a pleasure to bring everybody this Darien Memorial Day parade. And again, such a beautiful day. We saw the Darien Chamber of Commerce marching in the parade, and it was a Chamber of Commerce day
exactly.
for this parade. And we've had some weather in the past, but certainly not today. Just absolutely gorgeous.
I got to tell you, I think we've lucked out. I mean, the wind came up a bit, but it's going to be beautiful. Join the, if anybody's listening, try to join the ceremony afterwards and enjoy some hot dogs, hamburgers, and some other food at the Post 53 Food Fair. And Damien, thanks so much.
Thanks,
John.
This
is always a special moment for me, being so active in the community, but seeing it all in one spot and pulled together, and even pulling down through the downtown was just awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll reiterate again, thank you for all your support to DAF Media and what you've done for us and what you've done for me. I appreciate that. And again, thanks to everybody who's been watching this 2023 Darien Memorial Day Parade for our entire DAF Media production crew, Jason and Eric Bellingham, Braden Shank, John Cini. I'm Damian Andrew. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day. God bless and take care. Thank you.